Streaming.
Hello.
Have we started? Has it begun?
It has begun.
Hold on, let me bring it up on my laptop first, because right now all they're seeing is the AfterBuzz logo.
Are you ready for the AfterBuzz with Brandon Coates?
It's not saying that we're live. You click to start streaming, and it's showing that we're streaming. And we transitioned. Well, I wonder why it's not popping up on my YouTube.
I'm going to take a little bit. We're live up here. There we go.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not able to get to it. Weird.
Can everybody see?
Yeah, I'm not able to find the damn thing.
Right, so David says it looks like it's on.
This is weird, because when I'm trying to find it here on YouTube, I can't find it. And it usually pops up as a notification that we're streaming. There's the notification. Okay, found it. There we go. Hot damn. All right, and you guys can hear us okay? That's all good? Now Nico can actually come sit over here. Still trying to get this situated, figured out, if you will. But yeah, so welcome to the first AfterBuzz.
Is this the first
of
one?
2018. Yeah, I wasn't here last week. I was gone.
This is pretty cool.
So the first one, and we're going to be working on a few different things here for the AfterBuzz throughout the year. And obviously, as you can tell, let me check right there, brought to you by Glitch Gaming Center.
Go to Glitch.
Glitch Gaming Center gives you state-of-the-art gaming systems in the palm of your hands. Once you experience Glitch, you'll instantly want more. Play individually or as a group with your friends at Glitch Gaming Center, 1505 George Dieter or glitchgamingcenter.com. We got to go out there a few weeks ago, I believe, and it's cool as shit. Like, Glitch was awesome. The virtual reality stuff, and one of the things that we're planning on doing is we're trying to get it to in a few weeks. They have this one VR. It's basically more like a movie than it is a game, and it was PS4. So you got the headset on, and as you're moving your head, it's following the whole scene, complete 360 view. And it's this really creepy scene where you're in this basement. And you wake up and you're in this chair and your hands are tied in front of you. And as you look over here, there's a guy on the ground. And he slowly starts to wake up and he's got a knife and he's walking at you with a knife. And you're like, what the hell? But then
it sounds awful. It sounds very...
Oh, it's meant to be horror. It's meant
torture.
It's meant to scare the crap out of you. And so what we're hoping to do is I want to get a bunch of people to come in and we're going to set something like that up so then we can watch people's reactions as they're experiencing that live. It's pretty terrifying. Not gonna lie.
We should get some cholos and see if they
how they react to it. They probably wouldn't. But yeah, so we got a ton of stuff coming up.
If anybody's confused about Glitch too, it's like an arcade. It's kind of like they've got a lot of computer systems that you can go and it's like an internet cafe as well.
Yeah, you can have a LAN party.
LAN parties, yeah, lots of LAN parties.
They have a whole series of computers that the owner built himself, so they're built to be like top tier gaming systems. They have I can't remember what the name of the one is, but it's the one where you actually run with your feet. You put on these special shoes, and it's kind of like ice skates almost. And so you're strapped into this belt, and when you run with your feet, your character moves.
Yeah.
And it's a true first-person shooter. And Buzz and I got to play it, and I kicked his ass.
It's VR, right?
Yeah.
It's where you have like a circle around you, and you actually step into a VR area.
Yeah.
And there's only two of them. It's pretty expensive or pretty big.
Oh, they're super expensive. But there's two of them, so if you want to compete against somebody, you can. I competed against Buzz, and I whipped his ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Glitch Gaming.
It's on the east side.
Big shout out to them. Yeah, again, the address 1505 George Dieter. So if you want to go check them out, I highly, highly recommend going and checking out Glitch Gaming.
Now that I live on the west side,
you never go over there anymore, do you?
I don't go to the east side anymore. I kind of feel disconnected from El Paso. I used to live right in the middle. I could get to the northeast, east, or west just the same amount of time. The exact same amount of time. And now I don't want to go anywhere.
Okay, so real quick, we'll jump into the chat here. Ivan, he got one of Joanna's cats.
Ivan?
And now he's asking for name suggestions for his cat.
That's a good idea.
So I'll let you guys stew on that here for a few seconds. I do have something to show Nico.
Puss in Boots.
I don't know if you saw this, but I got this.
Ha!
And if you don't know what this is Baby Jesus. That was in, what's the bread called?
I can't say it.
Rosca de Reyes?
Yeah.
I thought that was the name of like the celebration or whatever. But is that the name of the
it's
bread
a Rosca
too?
cake. Yeah, it's a
Rosca cake. Okay. So anyway, so I got this thing. It's a baby Jesus, although it technically could just be a baby because there's really no defining characteristics of this being Jesus. So now apparently I need to rock some tamales on February 2nd.
I thought it was next year. Any of the better Latinos?
I've been told by everybody it's February 2nd is the date that you have to.
You're supposed to throw a party next year too.
I thought I was told the party was this year, February 2nd. Please confirm if you know.
Please confirm. I'm not well versed in that Mexican tradition.
And just to keep you guys up to date with what's going on in the chat, it's looking like Puff is the leader in the clubhouse right now in regards to Ivan's cat's name. Puff is looking like what it might be.
The magic.
Everybody's saying February 2nd. Yeah, see, I know this stuff. I'm now more Mexican than Nico is.
I'm thinking the king cake from New Orleans.
King cake, like Mardi Gras. So I guess that's not the same thing.
Right.
But anyway, so I found baby Jesus. Don't worry, he was lost.
Oh, if only we could all find baby Jesus.
Is found.
I just like praying to baby Jesus. That's my favorite kind of Jesus.
He was in the bread I almost choked. Not really.
Puff the magic kitten. The magic kitten.
Puff the magic kitten. Not bad. Other suggestions that we're getting right now. Blaze as well. There's another one that's popping up.
I actually approve of that one myself.
What about Puffy Blaze?
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll kind of keep up to date with all that fun stuff.
Puff Caddy.
Puff Kitty.
Puff Kitty.
No, see, I trumped it, and he's not happy.
No, it's not as punny.
It's like, well, it's P Diddy.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of Puff Caddy.
As in Puff Daddy. Oh. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. So yeah, it's kind of like when we were coming up today with our Stan Lee puns that weren't the best puns on the entire planet, because
you guys have
before you got in this morning, we were trying to come up with different puns about how
as Samuel Johnson said, puns are the lowest form of comedy.
Stan Lee talking about, he's Mr. Fantastic, he can make one of his body parts extend and stuff like that.
That's hilarious.
Some of the ones that came up with pretty bad though. They're pretty bad, not gonna lie. Also, something we talked about later on in the show, fencing. It's not a martial art, as much as Nico would like to say it's. And it doesn't matter that Google claims that it's a martial art either. It's not a martial art. It's a dance.
You know why I call my dick the Thing?
Why?
Because it's rock hard.
That would be a good Stan Lee pun, though.
The Thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to touch my thing? It's rock hard right now.
No. There's other Hulk references.
What has 47 teeth and holds back the Incredible Hulk? My zipper. All right.
All right. So we talked about that.
Yeah,
people really want to see your fencing. They really want to see you in action.
Oh,
and they keep. And I find it funny how everybody tries to like program our shows where they're like, "You guys need to do this for the show." No, it doesn't work that way.
It kind of
does.
You guys can give us. It kind of does. Your suggestions get filtered through sometimes.
Your suggestions can come through, but it's fun. They get the ball rolling where it's like, you need to do this and you need to do this, when they don't have any idea what the capabilities we have, the equipment and staff are. Trust me, we'll get to it. But we won't be doing a fencing video on an AfterBuzz. But we definitely will at some point get Nico to. Do you still own the fencing gear?
Yeah, I still have my fencing gear. I still fence here in El Paso too, guys. If anybody wants to start fencing, go to Saul DeLong, Margaret Long. You can look that up online.
When was the last time you fenced?
I actually fenced maybe.
Yeah. You just practicing.
6 months ago, probably a year ago.
6 months or a year? That's a lot. That's a big gap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just once. Like I haven't fenced consistently since like 4 years ago. Like where I was going, I was coaching too. I'm a fencing coach.
Wow! So could you coach us?
Yeah.
So you could we could do an actual training session with Nico for fencing.
Yes, I started when I was 7 years old, so that would make me 20 years in the game.
Wow! Look at this guy. All right, so so at some point we'll do a fencing video with Nico. Maybe we'll have the morning show go out there and we'll have Nico show us some pointers, try to train us and see who, and then even have like a mini tournament between myself, Buzz, Lisa, and Joanna.
That would be fun. That'll be really fun. It's also just fun because you get to hit another person, and everybody has full body clothing, not armor, but like protection.
Yeah, gear.
And so it doesn't. Well, it kind of hurts. You get bruises. I remember I was 7 years old, and all the big kids would fence me, so I'd come home with big bruises, and people would think I was being beaten. But it's really fun to just get your aggression out against people. So like Lisa versus Buzz would be really good.
That would be very entertaining.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do find it funny. So we had an EAS test go off during the show today. And I'm saying into the microphone, it's just an EAS test. Calm down. Because literally Lisa and Buzz looked like the world was coming to an end. They are looking at me, and Lisa's like, and Buzz is doing the same thing, and he's starting to get that angry face. And that's why I'm just saying calmly into the microphone, it's just an EAS test. Calm down. And then Buzz made the comment about how I'm the least calm person that he knows. I will make this comment.
Well, you're not a calm person.
Well, no, and I'll never, I won't dispute that in any way, shape, or form. But I also have not gone around the office punching things because I didn't get my way.
True.
Buzz has done that on multiple occasions.
But now you're comparing eggs and oranges.
How's that?
No, I think what people don't get is that when the show goes off, that's like the worst thing that could happen, right? For you as a producer. And that's happened like twice in the last 6 months.
Oh, yeah. There was one time we went off the air literally because the weight of a plug was too much, and it was just slowly pulling the plug out of the socket, and eventually it just went flip, and it was enough to where it cut the cord and flip, gone.
Nice how just that one plug is responsible, though.
Yeah, and it annihilated everything. And so, of course, Daver, being the fantastic engineer that he is, goes around to every single studio with zip ties.
Really?
It's Daver. You want to talk about the best, most thorough engineer possible? Daver. Because he goes through every studio, every production room, it doesn't matter, and he's rigging up the every plug and outlet to ensure that this doesn't happen again. I mean, that's how thorough Daver is. It's fantastic.
So when Brandon says, "Oh, anybody freaks out about the EAS test," like you could see that they were worried about one of those situations. Like that's what they were probably.
And at one point, I'm trying to sign to Lisa like EAS. And she still wasn't picking up on what the hell was going on.
And as a listener,
wait, could you guys not hear me when I was in the talk?
No, we could. They just didn't know what to do. Whether the audience could still hear us.
Well, no. Okay, now that's on them. That's 100% on these seasoned veterans who've heard thousands of EAS tests. And when I'm going, it's just an EAS test. Calm down.
What's EAS stand for again?
Emergency Alert System.
Oh. Well,
okay, see, I figured the whole time I'm saying that you guys couldn't hear me.
No, we can
because they're freaking out to the point like they can't hear me. I'm like, dude, it's just an EAS test. That's it.
Yeah.
And the way the board is set up, they don't hear. There's a whole different thing and it's because Buzz has complained that he doesn't want to hear things a specific way in his loud ass headphones, which is why he doesn't get to hear the EAS test.
It was funny. It was funny.
Lord.
As a listener, that was the first time I've been in the studio and heard that before. So I've always wondered what that was like. I've always listened to it in the car or something. And I'm like, oh.
Ours is different, though, because this one just goes off. Whereas other ones before, they have the scheduled EAS test where they will, it's actually printed on, the commercial log, and you have to hit buttons to run the EAS test.
That would really suck.
I kind of like it this way because I don't have to worry about anything. It just plays by itself. It does a little printout. And, of course, got Buzz and Lisa.
Yeah, they thought the world was going to end.
I honestly thought you guys couldn't hear me. Because it's just an EAS test. Calm down. Anyway.
See, what the listeners, what are you guys up to?
They're still trying to name Ivan's cat at this point, who apparently is a lazy cat because Ivan says it just wants to lay on him and sleep. We got Lazy Billy popping up here.
Silly Billy.
David says Buzz sounds like a spoiled, bratty kid. Well, he is.
Yeah.
Eli, are they totally at random? Or are they scheduled? They're scheduled, but for us, if we were to track it down, we could find out. But it's going to play regardless on our station. So
but that's a good point. Like, did you know that was coming up so you could have warned anybody?
I'm sure if I looked into it, I could have, but I really didn't care. Because it's going to take over the station regardless. Mm-hmm. And when they can hear me and I'm saying, it's just an EAS test, calm down, I kind of expect them to calm down. But Apparently not.
Yeah, but there's a list in the software that shows you like song, like add, and then go back and stuff. Like it wouldn't be in there, would it? In the log?
No, not in there.
Okay.
Ghost is asking in the chat here, who would be the least calmest person in the studio in an emergency like a fire? I was on the count of 3, blurt out who you think
Would be the least
calm. I'll say 1, 2, 3, and then blurt it out. Ready?
Go.
1, 2, 3.
Lisa.
Yeah. Should have seen her look on her face with the EAS test. Imagine if there was an actual emergency going on.
Lisa is really smart, and she's like good at like being prepared. And that's the worst thing about her is that she always needs to be prepared.
Yeah.
And so when I feel like something happens unexpectedly for her, it really
it just kind of throws a cog into the whole machine, and
it really trips her up because she's such a like prepared person. She prepares all the news, like how she writes it and stuff, and says it.
Eli is saying he always trips out when there's an EAS test, and it says it's a civil authority test. Now we've had. Have you seen those pranks that people do where they do like an EAS test, but it's pre-recorded and it has like the zombie apocalypse?
No.
You haven't seen those videos?
No.
Where it's pre-recorded, and it's
is this like a War of the Worlds thing where they're kind of
but they're doing it as a prank on their friends, where it's saying, or there's a zombie apocalypse one. I think there's alien ones like War of the Worlds. And it's just all pre-recorded, and it's saying this is. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's not those ones. It's a nuclear bomb, is what it is. And so they've pre-recorded, and it sounds like an official.
That would suck to do today because of how close.
Oh yeah, and so they make it sound like an official EAS. And unfortunately, this isn't something that we could run on the airwaves. Like we would get in trouble if we played this on the show.
Really?
Because it sounds like a legit.
If we did a War of the Worlds type thing on the show, could we do that?
No, you can't do that anymore. That's illegal. But no, again, that's truly one of those things that
who knew it'd be illegal to make up news.
It's like people are freaking out because it legitimately saying like there is a nuclear warhead on its way.
Really suck.
Please remain safe. You know, this will be dealt with. Yada yada yada. Like it's just.
How do the friends react? They freak out.
Oh hell yeah. Let me see here.
Wait. What? When Brandon leans in?
Oh, when I lean in and say it's just an EAS test, it sounds like he can be a sex line operator. That's a little creepy.
Hey.
Wow. You having fun there? Okay. Anyway, if you guys have any questions at this point, go ahead and fire them away. We're going to do this for about 10 more minutes.
Chunk loves baby.
One thing that popped up today in the chat was somebody mentioned the movie Airheads. And we kind of got into it, not a quote off per se, but we were quoting some of Airheads, like, who would win in a wrestling match, Lemmy or God?
Lemmy, I believe, is a musician.
Oh my God, this is completely missed on Nico.
From Motor.
Yes, well, you got that right because the correct response is Lemmy is God.
Oh.
But that got me kind of thinking about some great like 90s music / rock and roll movies. Have you ever seen Airheads? That's a no. Have you ever seen Empire Records?
No. Not that one either.
Okay, but both of those I highly recommend checking out. You know what Airheads is about?
Air guitar?
No, oh my God.
You know what my mom got me for Christmas? A bunch of music trivia.
You know what my mom got me for Christmas?
Your 2 front teeth?
An air guitar. So she actually did get you music trivia?
I have a bunch of music trivia that buzzes right now.
Is it like Trivial Pursuit? Is it question? Is it question with answer provided so that you can kind of?
Yeah, it's question.
Like how's it set up?
It's question. It's like playing cards, a question, and then on the same side, multiple choice answers, and it has the answer highlighted for you already. It's like one of those cheap gifts you would get at Marshalls or TJ Maxx, like while you're waiting to check out. They have those dollar kind of items. It's a bunch of trivia cards and.
Are you saying? Oh, there you go. There's a name for your cat, Ivan. Lemmy. Name the cat Lemmy. Lemmy is God.
Oh, that's a good name. Yeah, that's a really good one.
But yeah, so 2 movies I do highly recommend. Airheads. It's got Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi.
Eli of the Moon.
Yeah, he's asking whatever happened to Brendan Fraser. And Ivan, you got the name wrong because the name of the band that they're all in is the Lone Rangers. Get it?
No.
How can you be the Lone Rangers if it's Rangers?
I get it.
There, I finally got it. Who else is in it? It's got Michael Richards, who was Kramer on Seinfeld. He's in it.
That was before he was racist, though.
Chris Farley's in it for a very brief role. Oh man, it's a huge cast. And so the premise of the movie is it's this rock group, the Lone Rangers, which is Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, and Steve Buscemi.
That sounds hilarious.
And they go to this radio station to get their stuff played. And I loved the movie back in the day, but now that I work in radio, it makes complete it not necessarily makes complete sense, but it's even funnier to me now because the premise behind the movie is they're flipping the rock station to like an easy listening station, which I've been a part of. That happened in Florida. The rock station I was on flipped to an easy listening station.
Gross.
And so they show up and they basically hold the place hostage just to get their demo played. And I mean, it's a hilarious movie. If you've never seen Airheads, I highly recommend it.
Is that why Steve Buscemi was in Billy Madison?
In a lot of Adam Sandler's movies?
Yeah.
I think so. I think they may have formed one. I don't know. I'm completely
am I glad I called that guy.
Yeah. He was in just about every Adam Sandler movie. Remember?
Oh yeah, he's the bum in Big Daddy.
In Big Daddy, he was also in. He was Crazy Eyes in Mr. Deeds.
So Airheads was way before. That was probably the first.
Oh yeah, that was long before. I think Adam Sandler was still on Saturday Night Live.
That's cool. That's like their meeting. That's like where they met.
And David says then they hold a concert. Yeah, they do. They hold a concert out front. So Phil mentioned there's a scene in there with Chris Farley where Chris Farley he's talking to this guy and they're trying to track down the other demo tape. So Chris Farley's a cop and he's trying to track down the demo tape. And he ends up at the Viper Room. Ooh. And who's playing in the Viper Room? I'll give you guys a few seconds. I want to see if anybody can actually answer that question. Because it's a pretty big band that's playing in the Viper Room in that scene. And he's talking to this guy. He's got no shirt on. He's got big old nipple rings on. And Chris Farley's sitting there. The guy takes rips the badge off Chris Farley and bites it and bends it with his teeth. And he's like, "What are you going to do now?" And Chris Farley goes, "Improvise." And he takes his finger on the guy's nipple rings, goes, and rips it straight out. No, they haven't answered yet.
The Wedding Singer?
That's a movie.
Oh.
It's the Adam Sandler movie, Nico. No. Since I thought I've given it enough time at this point, White Zombie is who's playing at the Viper Room. I believe they're playing, if I remember correctly, it's Thunderkiss 65.
White Zombie, which I believe is the band name for Rob Zombie.
Well, it was the band he was in. Cannibal Corpse was playing in a different scene in another movie, because I haven't put in Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, that's Ace Ventura. That's how, because when I go to a barber now? Can you tell?
What a waste of money.
Well,
right, guys?
I go there to get them to trim up my beard.
Do you do the straight razor?
Huh?
For your head? Do they do the straight? The straight
Not
razor?
the big one. They have like it's a standard razor that we would use on our face for my head.
I feel like I have bad coffee breath, so I don't want to look too much.
It's perfectly fine.
All right.
But yeah, and so we were watching Ace Ventura, and I saw Cannibal Corpse. They're the ones that are performing on Ace Ventura, but it's White Zombie performing on Airheads. And then Empire Records, great movie. It's got crap. I'm gonna blank on all their names now.
Terrence Howard.
No.
Aaliyah?
Renee Zellweger, before she got all pucker-faced.
Before the Diaries.
And what's her face? Steven Tyler's daughter. Liv Tyler. They're both in it as well. And this one is... And these movies always struck a chord with me because it really kind of shows what happened to music and corporations and stuff like that. Because Airheads, you have this radio station that's flipping from rock and roll to easy listening. And then the premise behind Empire Records is it's this family-owned record store. It's this kind of misfit group of kids who listen to all different kinds of music. They actually do this thing at the beginning of the movie where they hold out like M&Ms or something like that, and whoever gets this certain the blue M&M, they get to pick the music that's played in the store.
Oh, that's a good system.
And so it's different. Everybody listens to all different kinds of music. And the premise of that movie is the owner is going to be selling the record store to one of the big chain corporations, and they have all these rules, and this is what you
All
have to
that
dress
music.
like, and stuff like that. No, all that music is great. I sold all my CDs to them actually just this past week, and thanks, guys.
Oh, and don't we have another record store downtown called Atomic Records now?
I have no idea.
I heard it's like really like cool, like a cool Austin.
Have you been
like
there?
An Austin one.
Did you dream about this, or does it exist?
I don't know if half the shit I hear exists sometimes. I just say it.
All right, so that's pretty much wrapping up what I wanted to talk about today. I'm looking forward to the Victor Ortiz fight coming up in February. Jennifer Hahn on the fight card. A guy at my gym, I believe he was trying to get on the fight card. I'm not sure if he did or not, though.
You know what would be cool? If we could get Austin Trout, Victor Ortiz, and Jessica Hahn on the show at the same time.
I don't know about all at the same time. That's a lot of guests in one show there, Nico.
Or just on a superhero team together.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, all right, so if you guys have any questions, go ahead, fire them off here really quickly before we wrap this thing up, and I'm just going to ask Nico one more question. Any interesting stories living with Buzz?
Yeah, the really funny one was the other night when he took his Lunesta, and so we almost have the perfect schedules where we just don't see each other.
Which is weird because Nico considers him a part of this morning show, and you would think that they would have a similar schedule.
I consider him part of this morning show?
No, you consider yourself a part of the morning show.
I do consider myself part of the morning show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anybody else does, but
No,
I do.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Yeah, so Buzz was on Lunesta, and so I'm out at night, late at night, and then I come in sometimes in the morning, and then during the day, you know, sometimes I was asleep or doing other stuff. So I come home late at night, and Buzz is at the refrigerator door in the dark, and he's eating.
The only light being the refrigerator, right?
The only light being the refrigerator, and he's eating just chicken right out of the box of KFC, just like in the fridge. He's just like chowing down on chicken, and I'm pretty sure even eating the mashed potatoes without a spoon out of the
just scooping it with his hand and just kind of like a
just,
snowball,
trying to just eat it with the top of his mouth and just like lick it out, you know.
Yeah, well.
And I go, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, hey, buddy."
Did you film any of this?
No, I forgot.
See, and this is where I screwed up because one of my funnier stories of living with Buzz was we're sitting in his living room and he has an L-shaped couch. And I'm sitting over on the right, and he's sitting in the middle, and he's playing the guitar. But he's leaned back like this, and he's playing a song, and out of nowhere, he just... and he'd be out for a good 5 to 10 seconds, and then he'd keep playing like nothing happened.
That's crazy.
And he would play for
I've never heard of that before.
He would play for about 20 seconds, and this went on about 5 times, and I regret to this day.
Yeah, that would have been a good
not filming that. So if I can give you any advice living with Buzz, have your phone on the ready at all times.
Yeah, we'll do.
For filming.
I learned that after the chicken incident.
All right, so a couple questions from the chat before we wrap up the After Buzz. Cole Guy wants to know: Are you invited to the? Is it tamaleada? Is that the tamale party?
Tamalada.
Okay, well, what Nico said. No, you're not. And then let me see here.
Okay,
Ghost is asking about resolutions from last year. Did I end up reading every month last year? Yeah, I read, but I just didn't finish any books.
He read one chapter a month, and
no, I was reading more. I wasn't reading books. But at this point, I have put some books aside because one of my resolutions for this year is to read more like rock and roll biographies, because I fill in for Loudwire Nights, and I need to, you know, as much knowledge as I do already have, I could always use more. So I want to.
I got some trivia
keep
cards
reading.
If you want some.
Send them my way, buddy. So I want to keep building on that as much as possible. And the one that I'm reading right now is Joey Kramer's book, the drummer for Aerosmith, and it's really interesting listening or reading about the real early times before Aerosmith was even formed, and how he's describing Steven Tyler, and how he was already like a pimp back then. Like the dude just always been super fucking cool, I guess. So that is one of my resolutions for this year. I had some other ones. I can't remember what the hell they were. I think I already forgot.
That's how important those resolutions were.
One of them was to play the guitar more, which I have been doing, actually. And I do have to mention this quick story about our daughter. And just how funny she is, because we got her a little karaoke machine for Christmas, And on the machine, there's buttons for applause and there's a button for laughter.
Brandon said he would give this to me for my stand-up set.
Yeah, because Nico needs this thing.
Yeah.
And so what happened is the house would get kind of quiet. And all of a sudden, I would hear this cheering and applause, and I hear, thank you for coming out. And I'm like, oh my God, she's performing in front of a crowd. So I go and look, she's got all of her stuffed animals in front of her like a crowd. And I'm like, this thing, her imagination is amazing. Like, it's fantastic. But then the cap on all of this that was so damn funny was it would get really quiet, and she wouldn't tell a joke, but she would hit the button that would do the laughs, the laugh track, and you hear this, and then she just goes, I know, right? And I'm like, oh my God, this kid's brilliant. She's fantastic. It's been absolutely hilarious listening to her play with that.
I really love that story, and I actually told all the comics on Monday about that, and we couldn't stop laughing. Because those are the two things that, if you reduce comedy down to, a small 7-year-old found out.
Yeah, it's laughter and I know,
it's
right?
It's thank you for coming out, and I know, right? That's all stand-up comedy is. Those two reactions, and that is it.
Okay, so then on that note, Nico, you got anything else? Anything you need to plug? You got a comedy night coming up?
Well, every Monday I'm at Duets. If anybody wants to go out to a cool open mic, I have musicians and comics at Duets karaoke bar right off of Piedras, next to the old Capettos. But it's also just a really cool karaoke bar. It's the best karaoke bar in town. I don't do karaoke, and if I did, this is probably the only place. Because they have a stage and the microphones, and all they do is karaoke 24/7.
I think what we need to do is we need to have people from the chat vote on a song, and then Nico has to do it karaoke, and we film it.
Oh, that would be great, actually, for everybody to get a song and then do it.
What are you talking about?
We'll film everybody.
No.
Group content.
No.
Since I'm a part of the show.
No. Well, no, our part's going to be to film it and then put it on our website. So, but yeah, if you guys want...
if I have to sleep in a doghouse, I am part of the show, okay?
That hasn't been confirmed yet, but we might be making Nico sleep in a doghouse. Maybe. All right, on that note, we say goodbye. Can you jump over there and shut this bad boy off, because we're still trying to figure this out, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.